Hi everyone, I've done the riveting of the master link for the cam chain of the CB450, and I'm pretty pleased with the riveting. The master jointing link that I used is the hollow tipped one. I found that was the nicest one to deal with, but you will have a couple of challenges if you do decide to use this particular style of link. There is the solid end, which crimps differently. In fact, it doesn't actually crimp, it just presses the outside of the link over the master link ends, and that's what holds it in place. It's like a friction fit, if you like. This one here I felt a little bit more confident about because it flares out the end of the hollow tips, and I think gives a far more secure attachment of the outside section of the link. And this is on the inlet side of the head. I found that seems to be the best position to do this work. So this is my riveting tool. It's the standard riveting tool that you can buy online. I did a modification to it though. You'll see here that I've ground a tip, a pointed end, to allow me to flare out the hollow tipped rivet, or the hollow tip of the master link, to allow me to rivet it. So if you do go down this pathway, you'll have to do something similar, because you need to get into the hollow, and then as you apply pressure, the point here will go into the hollow and flare out the hollow nicely, like it has done. So you need something to press onto. So I'm using this piece here, which is a standard flat end. Get a better focus on that side. And I just slip that through, because you want to have basically a hard surface to press against, a flat surface, and there's a hole at this end, so you need something to press onto. So I found it easy just to put this piece in first, and then to screw this piece in afterwards. So if you go down the path that I've just done, you may want to do something similar. And it worked very well. I just took my time. I think it was a 14mm spanner onto here, and just slowly applied the pressure, and had a couple of inspections to make sure that I was making the flare. You don't want to overdo it, because the last thing you want to do is to actually split the end of the rivet, split the end of the link pin. If you do that, I think you really want to start again with a fresh master link. That wouldn't be a good situation. So I'm very pleased with the amount that I've got on the flare there. It's worked out very well. So that's all okay, but I have run into another issue with this engine. So this is the rotor, and you can see that I've disassembled the starting clutch from the rotor. Now, to pull the rotor off the crankshaft, you'll need a 16mm, and it's a 1.5 pitch thread. And so not too hard a job. All you've got to do, I'll see if this is loose enough to undo with my fingers. Yes, it is. Take out the bolt here. Of course, you'll have to take that out to the impact. It comes off fairly easily. So take that out. And then when you put the 16mm into here, and as you tighten that up, it goes onto the end of the crankshaft and just pulls the rotor assembly nicely back off the crankshaft, nice and easily. There's no stress put on any of the parts. Just take your time on that. I think I used get the size of the spanner. There might have been a 14mm on there as well, actually. And that came off quite easily. But my issue really is the starting clutch itself. So I've had to go and buy some more parts again. You don't know these things until you start getting into the engine. My rollers didn't look too bad, but I'm buying a complete new set of rollers. The end caps that go against the rollers, and also the springs. So this here is the starter clutch drive gear that goes on to the chain of the starter motor. By the way, your starter motor should go anti-clockwise. Okay, everything goes anti-clockwise on this engine. This engine rotates anti-clockwise for starting. You'll see there's an arrow down here on, well, I maybe can't see it clearly on my video, but there's an arrow stamped onto the front of the rotor to show that it goes anti-clockwise, so be careful on that, especially if you've disassembled your starter motor. Make sure you bench test it to make sure it's running in the right direction, everything's all good there. Yeah, so when I took this apart, the 3 screws which hold all this together had completely sheared off, which apparently is not unusual. I thought it was pretty amazing. I've never seen that sort of thing before. They couldn't fall away. They were captive in this area here between the back of the clutch part and this surface here. They were captive there, but they certainly had broken off. So I thought, well, that's a problem, but I guess I can buy some more screws. But then I realized there's a bigger problem, and the problem is this. Down inside here you've got your 3 springs. Probably not going to come out very clearly on my video, but just there's not much light there, so you know, inside of this in the recess here where the rollers fit into, there's a hole, and in the hole there's the spring, and then the cap goes on top of the spring. All 3 of mine are jammed inside of this housing and they will not come out. I have tried everything. They have a little hole on the end of the cap, so I thought they'd just pluck out with my little pick. No way, they just will not come. They just won't come. They are so stubborn. I don't know what's happened, whether they're corroded in there or what, but the springs are obviously collapsed. The caps are stuck deep inside. In fact, they're a little bit recessed. They're not even flush with these surfaces here as well. Anyway, so I can't get them out. I've applied heat and banged and picked and everything I could think of to get these things out, and they just won't come. Not even one of them have come out so far. So after about you know, forget how many hours I persevered with this, I decided that was it. That was enough. Given up. So I've gone and purchased a new old stock starter clutch for this engine. Don't ask me how much that cost me. Wasn't very pleased with that purchase, especially with the shipping costs out here to New Zealand. But anyway, that's been done, so I'll be back to normal, back to new. Complete kit, gear, because the gear can actually wear down on this surface here. Instead of mucking around with that, with remachining it, I've gone for everything fresh, rollers, springs, caps, the whole lot. So with those, when they arrive, which I don't, they should be here by the end of July, but I'm off to Australia for holiday tomorrow, so it'll be when I get back, hopefully they will have arrived and I can start to reassemble this part of the engine. And then once I'm happy with that, about all that, I'm getting pretty close to sticking the engine back into the frame, which seems to be quite it's dragged on a bit, but that's okay. I'm not in a major hurry. But I am looking forward to that part of it, getting that in place. Oh, my new seat cover arrived, so I'm very pleased with that. Haven't got it clipped in place yet, but it's arrived. So there you go. When you get into these engines, these are older engines, and you'll always get little surprises. I don't think it's unusual to have issues with the starter clutch. In fact, I've looked a lot on YouTube at different people's experiences with these starter clutches, and even from new, it looks like they had issues with these. But I'm hoping with all new parts, I should be good for a while. And I'm not expecting anything else. I think that should be it. As far as the engine goes, there's really nothing else that's going to be that can catch me out, I don't think. I've got all the parts for the carburetors. I've gone and bought new manifold bushings for those as well. So thank you very much for that, and that's looking pretty good at the moment. And I'm pretty happy how things are looking on it actually. So thank you very much for viewing, and I'll bring a bit more progress to this little project once I get the starter clutch installed, and spin the engine over a bit. I'll put a bit of oil around it first. Well, there is oil around the insides of the the valve gear and the pistons have all oiled up. Just give it a quick crank over to make sure everything looks okay before I box it up completely. So appreciate your viewing and all the very best for now, and no doubt I'll bring some videos from Australia. Actually off to a place called Cairns. This going to be quite nice this time of the year. Temperature should be in the early 20s to mid 20s. That's degrees Celsius, which is a lot warmer than what it is in Auckland at the moment. Okay, all the best. Bye for now.